and welcome to the Caroline Show. Yes, we got a remote and I bedazzled it myself. And you know, I get very happy about bedazzles, and whenever I bedazzle something, I'm always like, oh my gosh, I bedazzled it. But anyways, as you know, every day we have a theme. It's always a fun theme. Today's theme is a very interesting one because it is Tiff Tuesday. Hello, Dylan.nod. Thank you for joining. Hey, Alex, yes, lender you. Hello, thank you so much for joining. So yes, it is Tiff Tuesday. And the reason why I want to do Tiff Tuesday today is because we've been talking a lot about love and romance and Valentine's Day. But Valentine's Day is over. And my type is a relationship song. A lot of my songs are about relationships, but you know what? All relationships have tiffs and fights and conflicts. Unfortunately, it's just kind of the name of the game. Even healthy relationships have fights and tiffs and tats. And unhealthy relationships, well, they definitely do. Hello, Emily and Devin. Thank you so much for joining. Hey, David Carmona. Hello. Greetings to you as well. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you're having an absolutely wonderful day. So sad V-Day is over. Yeah, I'm sad it's over too. I loved Valentine's Day. I did too. But unfortunately, sometimes your relationship is only good for one day, then for the rest of the days, it's bad. And you have hi, Berlin, and you have some problems. So I'm going to go through some common relationship issues and fights that a lot of people have. And you let me know if you've experienced any of these with, anybody, a friend, boyfriend, girlfriend, colleague, teacher. I've had a lot with teachers. And I'm going to let you know my personal experiences with them, or if I've experienced them, because unfortunately, we've all had some tiffs. Oh, hi, Haley. Thank you so much for joining. Hope you're having a great day. So, number one of the most common relationship problem is not prioritizing the relationship. Oh, oops, I did the wrong sound. My bad. I just got a remote. I'm new at this, and it's bedazzled. I bedazzled it myself. I already said that, though. So not prioritizing the relationship. Interestingly enough, I do have personal experience with this, but I was the jerk who wasn't prioritizing the relationship because I tend to be that. Basically, I have a lot going on, I do a lot of school. I have work and music and just a lot of stuff going on in life. And so it can be really, really hard because sometimes I just don't have that much time to just hang out with people and hang out with friends. And I've had a couple friends really be upset with me because I'm on my phone answering DMs the whole time I'm with them, and they're like, oh, stop, get off your phone. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I just I can't. And then they're like, is your phone and you answering DMs more important than your relationship with me? And I'm like, kind of. I'm sorry. So I feel you. That happens to me a lot. Sorry. My bad. My dog is biting me. Help. Oh my gosh, T68. Are you serious? Are you okay? Oh my gosh, can you get the dog outside? Or is your dog usually like that? Can you find a way to calm it down? Is somebody there? Can somebody help you? I'm really concerned. Are you okay? Does it hurt? Are you okay? I hope you're doing okay. I got my first hate comment today. Oh, I'm sorry, Annie. That's hard, but know that it doesn't define you. Every single person gets hate. every single person in the world is going to get hate at some point in their life. You know what I mean? You're not going to please everybody, because think about it. There are billions of people in the world. And I don't think there's anybody who like every single person in the world likes. Like, you know, it's Tiff Tuesday. We're talking all about conflict and stuff. It just happens. So try not to take it personally and just be confident in yourself, because you're amazing. And I'm sure you're doing amazing things. He's not biting me like blood. Okay, so you're not bleeding. That's good. I hope it doesn't hurt. Hi, Brinley. How are you? Hey, CD Music TV. I'm so sorry about your dog. I listened to your song right now. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. The seal.01. That's so sweet of you. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for listening. I really hope you enjoy it and it just brings you joy or anything. Really, anything. I'm sorry you got hate, but eventually hate makes you stronger. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. So try not to take it personally and just use it to become a better person, not a worse person. Because here's the thing. When people get hated on, I feel like you can either like go down to their level and get really depressed, or be mean back to people and be combative. Like even with conflict, you know, you can be really combative and start fighting, or you can take the high road. In the high road, it's not as fun to take, but it's the better route to take, and it's great in the long term, great for your mental health, and just the way to go. Okay. The next common relationship issue is a lack of trust. The reason I said the boo is because if you don't have trust, you have nothing. Facts. I was in this relationship. It's been crazy. This relationship has been awful. Like so give and take, so emotionally draining, toxic. We've all been there. And here's the thing. I really came to the conclusion that I need to break it off with them, and that I need to like never talk to them again once I realized that like I just do not trust them at all. And the thing is, if you don't have trust, you have nothing. You have nothing if you have no trust. I mean, you can't even talk to them or tell them anything because you don't trust them. Then there's no relationship. So no trust. Why even have a relationship if there's no trust? You know what I mean? Number 3 on the most common relationship fights and issues is a lack of boundaries. That one confused me because, like, lack of boundaries? Why is that is it because they don't respect your boundaries? Because if they don't respect your boundaries, that's very bad. I once had that happen in a relationship to me as well, where the person did not respect my boundaries at all. And I would tell them exactly, very straight up, these are my boundaries. This boundary. I can't talk in the morning because I need to do school. You know what I mean? It was very like, and they just didn't listen and they didn't care. And I was like, that shows me that you don't care. She said the back leg, though, cry face, because my leg was bent. Oh, and my BHS. Oh, she's just, you know what? She's just jealous that she can't do it. I bet she can't do it. You know, and at least you actually did it. And you know what? That knee is going to be so straight because you can use it to motivate you and get the straightest, most beautiful leg ever. What's with the sound effects? I got a sound effect. Look, I bedazzled it. I'm very excited. I'm excited. You should be excited too. Okay, you look every time the same. I know. It's because I get really into eras and I take it too far. So I did this really fun thing on the Caroline collection. And by the way, they're still up if you want to see it. So yesterday I did a bunch of polls where I asked you like, what you want to see and what you want me to talk about on my lives and blah, blah, blah. And I also asked a lot of polls, and one of the polls was if I should dress up more. And last time I checked, I got 100% yes. So I'm going to try to dress up more starting tomorrow. And the spirit jersey's coming off, and I'm going to look different. It's going to be so exciting. So I'm very excited. Oh, by the way, I love you too, CD Music TV. Thank you for being so sweet. So it's going to be very sweet. And by the way, those polls are still up. So if you want to vote, definitely go to at the .caroline.collection on Instagram and vote on the polls because I'd love to hear what you think. Anyways, the next relationship issue. This is a big one. Oh, poor communication. Yeah, poor communication is awkward. And again, poor communication is very similar to the trust. If you do not have communication, what do you have if you can't even talk to somebody? And let me tell you something. I had another relationship that was very toxic that I wrote a lot of songs about. I wrote we should break up about this relationship and healthy about this relationship. And legit, the communication was so freaking bad. It was embarrassing. It was legit embarrassing. Because we would always talk through a third party. We could never talk together. And it's like what happened to me on Valentine's Day, which you know this if you watch my Valentine's Day special, where basically I sent love letters. Well, not love letters, but I sent letters to my exes, and all the boys I love. And the person literally took 5 hours to get back to me. And then their response wasn't even written by them. It was written by their friend. And I was like, wow, thanks for the good communication. Thank you. You can't even talk to me directly. I didn't want to hear what your friend had to say. I wanted to hear what you had to say. No communication. No communication. And without communication, there's no relationship. It's not there. Oh, hi, little._T68. Oh, thank you for joining on YouTube. I appreciate it. Thank you. And the next relationship issue is having the same fights over and over and over again. Okay, maybe this is just me, and I've been there a lot, but do you ever have those relationships with people and you just fight about the same thing? It's every single day. It's one fight you just can't get over, and you literally even say the same things every fight. It's you have the same fight every time. I was in a relationship where that happened all the time. It was terrible. It was the same fight. It was the same thing. It was oh my gosh. I can't do this anymore. If you're having the same fight over and over again, obviously it's probably not going to work, because that's obviously a big issue that you can't move past. It's sad. Here is a major one. A major one. Ugh, such a major one for me. I've experienced this. Wow, this has made me realize, I guess my relationship problems are pretty common and a lot of people deal with them. Crazy. Okay, not enough compromise. Not enough compromise. Okay, this definitely happened to me because I felt basically I was in a relationship. We were very on and off, and we were trying to make our relationship work. And so I really did a lot of compromise to make it work. I put myself out there. I did things I didn't want to do. I shared information that I wasn't very comfortable sharing because we hadn't built trust. But I was it's the only way it's going to work. So I'm going to compromise, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to give them what they need, and I'm going to be all in. And that person just stepped on me. And they had no compromise at all because they were selfish. Some people can be selfish, and it's really sad because here's the thing: when people are really selfish, it hurts other people. because they're hurting themselves by being selfish as well, but it also hurts a lot of people, and it's not really fair, but it happens. Fighting over the same thing over and over, I think it's cute, but I guess it depends. You think fighting about the same thing over and over again is cute? It's emotionally draining for me. Oh my gosh, this person, I would just fight over the same thing. And I was like, if I have this conversation one more time, my head's going to explode. Because here's the annoying thing about it. You're making the same point over and over and over again. So it can be very exhausting. But I guess it depends what you fight about. Like if you have the same fight every time of, no, you hang up first, no, you hang up first, then maybe that's cute. Can I ask for a favor? Oh, yes, absolutely. CD music, TV. Absolutely. Little T, my dog finally stopped biting me. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad. I was worried. I'm happy your dog calmed down. I hope you're okay. Can you get like ice or make sure it's okay? Oh, hi, Music and Belief. Oh my gosh, congrats on 1K. Music and Belief finally got to 1K subscribers on YouTube, and they deserve it so much because their lyric videos are so amazing. It annoys me when people judge you when you're in a relationship. Yes, or they don't accept me for who I am. That is so huge. I experienced both of those things so much in one of my toxic relationships. It was terrible. They would judge me for every single thing that I did because they were a very judgmental person. Because some people are just so judgmental, and I think judgmental people are just kind of whack. And it's not cool because you really shouldn't judge anybody, because if you're not in their shoes, you don't really know their situation, and they didn't accept me for who I am. So I totally feel you. And it's the worst, and it's very hurtful, and it can really hurt your self-esteem. And that's the hard thing about all these toxic relationships and just relationships in general. They can really have a major impact on you and on your self-esteem and who you are, so it can be really hard. And that's why it's important, I think, to leave all toxic relationships. I really do, because I think life is way too short to be in relationships where you feel bad about yourself or it's just toxic. Who needs the toxicity in life? Who needs it? The hater motivated me, and I got my back full. Yes, girl. Yes. Queen. I love it. Using the hater to motivate you and make you better. That's always the way to go. Yes, move away from toxic people. Yes. We want to move away from all the toxic people. Who wants the toxic people? I don't want toxic people. Here's another common relationship issue. Not liking each other's friends. I feel like that's a big one. What was that? Sound effects. Isn't it cool? I feel so cool. Oh yeah, but I feel like that's a super big one. Because it's like if you don't like each other's friends, and it's hard because you're kind of living separate lives, and that can make it super difficult to bring it together. And then if you feel like, I can't talk about my friend around you because you don't like them, and then it can just cause so many rifts and be so awkward. And I've been there where it's just like the dynamics of all the people, it's such a headache and so crazy and so scary. And I'm like, oh my gosh. We deserve to be treated like queens and princesses. I agree. Absolutely. Anybody who treats you bad, it's just like, you got to get rid of them because it's so not cool. Early judgment results in creating distance and big problems. Yes, it causes so much distance, because if somebody judges you every time you share something, you're not going to want to tell them things, because of course, why would you want to tell somebody stuff just to be judged? That's not fun. That's not a safe environment. It's not cool. Nice touch. I like it. Oh, I'm so happy that you like it. I love it too. Makes me very happy. Here's another common one, which I don't really get this one, but insecurities about the future, which I think what they mean is, like, if you're in a relationship and maybe you want a commitment from them, but they don't give you a commitment, or like you want to get engaged, but you don't know when they want to get engaged, or you're like, can't we get engaged in 6 months? And they're like, how about we date for 5 years before? I think it's like that. And then if the other person, they get insecure about the future and they feel like, why won't you make a commitment to me? And I think that can be a really big problem. Or like when you're dating somebody and like they don't make you their official like girlfriend, because I've had that a lot, because I've like dated people, but I've never been anybody's like official like girlfriend. And so I can see that when you're like, why can't you make me your girlfriend? So yeah, insecurity about the future, that can be an issue. I think it's kind of a deal breaker though, to be honest. Maybe that's just me. And this next one is a big one. Selfishness. Because nobody wants to be around a selfish person. Selfish people aren't nice to be around because they're mean, It's like when they don't care about anybody else but themselves. It's sad. It's quite sad. Yeah. Very sad. Or you don't know where you stand with each other. Oh, that's a big one if you don't know where you stand with each other. Absolutely, because it's like, it's just you feel awkward all the time. Oh, that's such a big one. And then you don't know if they like you or, that could be hard. This next one is name calling. Name calling. Not a good one. I would say if you're in a fight with somebody or in a tiff, since it's Tiff Tuesday, always try to refrain from calling somebody a mean name, especially if it's a hurtful one. Yeah, definitely refrain if possible, because it's hard. Once you say something, you can't take it back. And that person remembers. And then the trust isn't there anymore and things build and it's just a lot. Here's the next one. Keeping secrets. Keeping secrets is a big thing. Because here's the thing. When you keep secrets, I think you harvest a lot of guilt. I think it creates a divide. It creates kind of like going in your own directions and tension. And then also then there's not as much trust as well. And yeah. And then bad communication. So that leads to it. And I've been in relationships where like the person has kept crazy secrets from me, and then I find them out and I'm like, what? You what? And you didn't tell me? Excuse me. And then I've even been in relationships where I've kind of been keeping the secrets, to be honest. But I never kept the secrets because I wanted to. I would only keep the secrets because I felt like I had to keep the secrets because they were so judgmental or so mean, or like wouldn't react well. Or it was like they just weren't very sensitive. So it was like if I was going through like a really hard time, I wouldn't want to tell them about the hard time that I was going through because I just knew like they would make me feel worse and not feel better, if that makes sense. I have a relationship with a wall. I'm not the kind of girl who has a relationship. I feel you. I mean, I don't think relationships are necessary, but these can be any types of relationships, not just romantic relationships. They can be friendships, teacher relationships. One time I did keep a secret from my teacher. That was funny. What about stingy people? I dated a guy and he ate at mine all the time and never bothered to bring anything over, not even a rose. Oh, that's rude. That's rude. That reminds me of the not enough compromise one too. Because that's rude. Yeah, you don't just want to take from somebody. You know what I mean? You want there to be a balance. There's a fine line between being selfish and being self-sufficient. Absolutely, I agree. 110%. But there's definitely the lines because the selfishness is like when it really affects the other person and it can like affect their self-confidence. Or like, for example, if like I come home to somebody and they're like, not that I come home to anybody, but like if I come home to somebody or like talk to somebody on the phone or whatever, and I'm like, I had such a hard day today and I'm just really struggling. And then they're like, oh, it's not that big a deal. It's not that big a deal. So anyways, this happened to me. And da 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 da. And my problems and my life is so much more important than your life. So that can be very effective. Or when you just ignore somebody, because I had that a lot when I was with somebody who was very selfish. It was like they literally just ignored me all the time. And then since they ignored me so much, I just felt so bad about myself because I felt like, why am I not even good enough for you to acknowledge? And it like really wreaked havoc on my self-esteem because I was like, what's wrong with me? Like, why aren't I good enough? So it was really sad. So that's when like it can be really hard. Caroline, have you ever been in a long distance relationship? I have. I did like a cyber relationship because I moved. And we did that for a while. It didn't work out well because then they got with another girl. So yeah, it didn't work out for me. So I'm really not a fan of long distance relationships because just from my personal experience, but who knows? Maybe it works for some people. Different things work for different people. I'm making soup. You want some? LOL. LOL. I wish you could give, although I've never had soup before. In my life, I've never had soup before. Is that weird? I had ghost relationships. What do you mean? Do you mean you had a relationship with a ghost? Or do you mean they like ghosted you? Is that what? That's horrible. You're amazing and talented. No one should ever ignore you. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. You're very kind. I appreciate your kindness. I feel the same way. Oh, we shall do a Discord call. You can do calls on Discord. Honestly, I'm so bad at Discord. Like, I really need to learn more about it and realize, like, what's going on with Discord and how to do stuff, you know? And here is the last relationship issue, and this is a big one. Cheating. Cheating. I say, cheat, leave. That's what I say. That's what I say. I don't think it's cool. I don't think it's cool. I don't like it. I don't appreciate it. Maybe it's because of my experience with the long distance relationship when the guy got with the other girl. I just don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate it. It's very rude. It's not cool. Nah. I am feeling so bad about your relationship life. Honestly, my relationship life is pretty tragic and weird and bad, and they all end well. So, yeah, maybe things will get better. Pray for me. Maybe I'll have some healthy relationships in my life. And then I can write like love songs that are all like happy. Because here's the thing, on my polls yesterday on the Caroline Collection, when I asked you like what type of stuff you want to see, I said, do you want more happy songs or more sad songs? And right now, happy songs is winning. But I'm like, shoot. How do I write a happy song? I don't know. You're still young. So many years to get an amazing relationship. Oh, thank you. That's very sweet of you. I appreciate it. But yes, so those are the most common relationship issues because I just had to do a Tiff Tuesday because I've been a part of a lot of Tiffs. A Tiff. Tiff is such a cute word though. Like, I love it. Like, they didn't exactly talk back, just like the sound vibrations and then hearing things that weren't there. Ooh, although, do you think it's like the wind or something? Or a fan? Because I had that happen to me too, where it was like it was really weird. The sheets were moving and stuff, but then it was just the fan. So it could just be a fan. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? Oh, yes. But now I'm going to tell you a story of a time that I got in a fight with somebody, like the biggest tiff that I've ever gotten in with anybody. Since I did relationship stories, I thought now I would tell you a tiff story. There wasn't even a fan. Yeah, but it doesn't have to be like a fan. It could be like a vent or something. I don't know. Air conditioning. I literally heard music that wasn't there. Do you think it was just in your head? Or do you think that actually happened? Do you think like a neighbor was playing music? Maybe? Because sometimes it happens to me where the neighbors will play music and I'll be like, what's that? But who knows? Who knows what's going on? Anyways, biggest tip I've ever been in. I'm very scared, but this happened. So, basically, I was just like hanging out with somebody, and yeah, and I don't even know what happened. And we were like doing stuff. We were playing sports together, and it was really fun. But then we had our relationship had already started being kind of strained and not that cool. And then I was like, you know what? Like, I really don't want to play this game anymore. Let's play another one. And they like snapped. They snapped. They snapped. They snapped. They were like, excuse me, what is wrong with you? Who do you think that you are to say you don't want to play this game anymore and you have to play another one? I control what games we play here. I control that. And I'm like, well, that's cool, but just we've been playing this game for like 20 minutes and we already played this game yesterday and the game before. And I just feel like we could switch it up and play a new game because I'm just sick of this game. They were like, how dare you? I control this. I decide what games we play and what games we don't play. And I was like, you okay? Like, you act a little psycho about this game. Like, you okay? Okay? Like, no need to freak out. We don't need to fight. Like, it's not that big a deal. They were like, and he's like, no, I'm not doing that. And then he was like, I'm going to call your parents and tell them what a brat you're being. And I'm like, I just made a suggestion that we could play another game. Okay? Like, you're not going to call my parents. Like, come on. You're going to tattletale on me? What are you going to do? Are you going to go to school tomorrow too and tell the principal? Like, huh? And then, yeah, and they got mad. And I was like, you know what? I'm leaving. And then I stormed out. And I called my friend crying. And I was like, they're crazy. What is wrong with them? And then and then I left. And then I never talked to them ever again. It was really sad. But, yeah. Weird fight story. Really weird. Caroline, like, you okay? You've never eaten soup. Is that weird? Is that weird that I've never eaten soup? Well, I don't get what soup even is, to be honest. That sounds dumb. I know. I've just never had it. Like, I've never had chicken noodle soup. I've never had tomato soup. I don't know what other types of soup exist. So, yeah. Who's in for a Discord voice call on Caroline's server? Oh my gosh, we have to do that. I'll definitely do that this week, for sure. I was in school and I literally asked and no one else heard. Huh? I'm so confused. If you talked about my relationship life, I'm totally single. Oh, feel you. I am too. I tried on so many girls. They just time pass with me and I was like, but sometimes I feel single life is quite better. I actually believe single life is better than relationship life. Like, I'm so much happier single because I feel like I could just like do what I want. I can feel free. I don't have to answer to somebody. I don't have to like worry about somebody's judgment or like, is what I'm doing good enough? Maybe I've just been in a lot of toxic relationships. So it's like, I'm like scared of getting in another relationship because I've seen how bad relationships can be, that like I don't want to get back to that place or like be in something like that. Because like if you find a great relationship, that's awesome. But I just think it's so hard to find a good relationship. And like most relationships are probably pretty toxic. I'm eating chicken and veg soup. Oh, that's so cool. How do you even make soup? I don't know. Caroline, believe me, you have to wait. There's someone and this road is made for you. Oh, that's so sweet. You too. You too. You need to watch the Titanic. I tried. I don't know if I can. It seems so long, but I'll try. Because I know a lot of people think it's good. So I'll definitely try. Please be Friday. Okay, let's do it on Friday. Let's do it. Okay. Now we are going to do something super, super fun that I am really looking forward to, which is more Wattpad stories. Okay, and I haven't read this story, so it could be absolutely terrible. But I think it's very, very promising because number one, it's Jailer. It's a Jailer fan fiction, and if you don't know what Jailer is, it's Taylor Swift and Joe Alwyn. So I'm very, very excited about it, and it's a bunch of one-shots. And I also made sure I haven't read the story yet because I want my reaction to be real and raw, but I made sure that it was a story where there's one-shots and where there's some fights because it is Tiff Tuesday. So, are you ready? Let's do it. It was ready soup because I can't cook. Haha. Oh my gosh, I can't cook either. I cannot cook for my life. Neither would I want to. It takes too long and is boring. And then the food ends up bad. And then you're like, I just spent an hour trying to make something and I can't even eat it because it's so disgusting. So it's really sad. Okay, I actually love the sound effects. It legit feels like a show. Oh my gosh! I'm so happy you love them. I love them too. But anyways, let's get to the story. This story is called Not Just the Idea of Something, and this chapter is called Screaming and Fighting and Kissing in the Rain. Also known from a Taylor Swift lyric, and That's the Way I Loved You from the Fearless album, which, by the way, is a very underrated song, I have to say. But let's do it. 1, 2, 3, let's go. What is this? Taylor screamed as she barged into the lounge room and shoved her phone in Joe's face. What is what? Joe asked calmly, lowering Taylor's phone from his face. This picture of you and that other girl, Taylor cried out like it was the most obvious thing ever. Taylor, she's just a coworker, nothing more. Joe tried to reason with her, gently standing up. Sure, nothing more. That's the stupidest excuse I have ever heard, Taylor yelled, getting right up in Joe's face. Come on, Taylor, that's stupid. You know I love you, Taylor rolled her eyes. Yeah, right you do. That's what they all say. Taylor growled, her voice laced with tears pooling in her eyes. Taylor, I'm not like them. He has a British accent. Taylor, I'm not like them. I really mean this. Joe tried to put his arm around Taylor, but she shrugged it off. I can't believe you, Joe. Taylor snapped back, taking Joe by surprise. I mean it. Joe tried to not raise his voice or get mad because he knew Taylor was just tired. Joe, I thought you were different. I might as well just leave before I get left. Taylor screamed and walked to the door. Taylor, baby, come back. I would never do that. Joe pleaded, tears welling in his eyes. No, Joe, we're done. Taylor grabbed her coat and walked out the door, Joe following her into the rain that felt like acid on the back of his neck. Taylor, please, Joe cried as he followed Taylor out in the road. Please just leave me, Joe. He could hear in her voice she was crying. Taylor began running across the street to get her car. Taylor, please, Joe screamed, and Taylor turned around. There was a sudden crash and a mess of tears, blood, siren, and painful phone calls. What's happening? What just happened? Oh, by the way, I love you too, Mimi_Jolena. What just happened? Joe squeezed Taylor's hand gently 3 times. Listening, did a car hit them? What happened? I'm so confused. I am too. Joe squeezed Taylor's hand gently 3 times, listening to the slow beeps and buzzes coming from all the machines Taylor was connected to. What? I did not think this story was going this way. I am so confused. Sir, we have some good news, the doctor who had been checking over Taylor said, pulling Joe back to reality. Taylor only suffered minor injuries in the crash. She will need to be monitored for a while and may have trouble remembering things for a while, but if she wakes up soon, she will otherwise be fine in a few weeks. Joe thanked the doctor, and once they left, he pressed his forehead against the back of Taylor's hand. Tay-Bear, I'm sorry, Princess. Please wake up. This is all my fault. Joe leaned over and kissed Taylor's soft, light pink lips gently, kind of hoping it could be like a fairy tale and that true love kiss would really work every time. It didn't. This is so sad. What's happening? A few hours later, Taylor finally woke up. Joe? She whispered gently, and Joe looked up. Oh, Taylor, I'm so sorry, he said, tears flowing from his eyes. Is my accent really bad? I'm sorry, I'm trying. Why are you sorry? Taylor asked, having no recollection of the fight or the crash. We had a fight. Joe sighed, sitting down, knowing she would remember anyway sooner or later. Better just tell the truth. Why would I fight with you? Taylor asked weakly. You thought I was cheating on you. I wasn't, though. Joe backed himself up. That's silly. Why would I think that? I know I love you and you love me. Taylor giggled. Yeah, I know. Joe sighed, resting his head on the edge of Taylor's bed. Kiss me, Taylor murmured, and Joe didn't hold back in, connecting their lips, which moved together in perfect harmony. Okay. I didn't expect that. Okay. I guess you didn't remember? Yes, you didn't remember. Story number 2. I'm glad they're together, though. They got through the fight. Story with the 2. Are you ready? Because I am ready. This chapter is called, Tears Streaming Down Your Face. Okay, let's see if we get a Tiff, because it's Tiff Tuesday, so we need some Tiffs. I'm home, Joe called as he ran into the house he shared with his beautiful wife, Taylor. They're married? Okay, I guess they're married. Joe had been away for the last few weeks for work and had been really excited to get home to Taylor. Taylor, he called again when there was no reply. Taylor, he called even louder, still no reply. Joe quickly ran up the stairs, rushing past all 3 cats. Oh, Benjamin Button is there, yay! Oh, sorry. All 3 cats, almost tripping on a cat toy in his rush to find Taylor. When Joe got to the bedroom, he found it locked, so he pressed his ear against the door. It felt as though a knife had been stabbed through his heart when he heard Taylor's soft sobs from the other side of the door. Taylor, he called gently, knocking on the door. No reply. Taylor, let me in, sweetheart. When there was still no reply, Joe began viciously fidgeting with the doorknob, which thankfully had broken the other day and eventually cracked open. Taylor! Joe ran to the side of his distressed wife and immediately wrapping her up in his embrace. What happened, dear? He asked in his thick British accent. Do you like my British accent? I love it. It's so bad, I'm sorry. I can't tell you, Taylor murmured into his chest. She knew very well she could tell him anything, but didn't want to stress him out. Taylor, Joe warned, lifting her chin up gently with his thumb. Please tell me, dear. Taylor moved her teary eyes away from Joe's. There was another break-in yesterday, she whispered, pressing her head deeply into Joe's chest as tears began to stream down her face. Oh, Taylor. Joe sighed and hugged his poor wife tighter. I wasn't home, but what if I was, and you weren't there to protect me? Joe sighed and began gently caressing Taylor's golden locks. Don't you worry your pretty little mind. Joe sung gently to Taylor, making her giggle slightly. People throw rocks at things that shine, she sung back, and Joe used his thumb to wipe the tears from Taylor's slightly blushed cheeks. And you, my dear, shine the brightest. Aww, that was sweet. Want to know something interesting? The thing with this story is it is all based on true events of like what their relationship's really about. Maybe it is. You sound like a story narrator from one of those kids' TV channels. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? Okay, this fan fiction I think is about her music being sold. So let's do it. It's about to get dramatic. We're about to have Tiff. Are you ready? And then I was like, what do you mean he sold my music? And then Tree said, I turned around to notice Joe is... And then I was like, what do you mean he sold my music? And then Tree said, I turned around to notice Joe standing at the door frame, his jaw left open, and his ocean blue eyes almost as wide as the Atlantic. Joe, I called, waving my hand in front of his face. Oh, Tay, look at the cat. He points over to the corner of the room, and I follow his gaze, only to see Meredith, my oldest cat, stare back at us with wings the same color as her dusty gray fur spread across her back. What the heck? I exclaimed, taking a step back towards Joe, who puts a protective arm around me. Meredith's eyes grow bigger and seem to beam at us. The strange wings that have grown on her back began to flap, getting quicker and quicker. 1, 2, 3. Me and Joe both come to the realization of what is about to happen. Just as Meredith lunges off the cat-scratching pole she had been sitting on. What is happening? I'm confused. Is anybody else confused? Because I'm confused. Okay, but let's keep giving it a try. Let's see what happens. He grabs my hand and we bolt out of the lounge room and into the master bedroom, slamming the door behind us and letting out a giant breath of relief as we hear a thud, which I suppose is Meredith hitting the door. Part of me feels sorry for my poor cat, but the other half of me is glad she didn't attack me and Joe. What on earth is happening? I cry and throw myself at the bed. There is some wicked, twisted dream. Joe throws himself down next to me. There is a loud meow, and we both jump up. Olivia, what is happening? Is the cat like possessed or like flying or what's happening? And let's see what happens. Okay, back into character. Olivia, my second cat, crawls out from under the covers with the dirty white wings like Meredith's perched from the back. Oh, no, not again, I scream and pull Joe out of the room before either of us can think. Then Meredith lunges off the floor and they are both flying after us down the hallway. Benjamin has wings too, Joe asks as we lock ourselves in the pantry. Well, I mumble, looking over at the top shelf where Benjamin, my youngest cat, has his wings split out. and his little head is buried in the bag of cat food. What? Benji, I call, and he lifts his head and stares at me and Joe, tilting his head slightly before burying it back in the food. Phew! We both let out a sigh of relief because he couldn't care less. What do we do with them? I ask, sitting on the cold, tired floor of our pantry. See if we can calm them down. I'm sure they'll be reasonable, I nod. Pass the treats. I'm sorry, I cannot do a British accent. I'm sorry. Let's see. I'm calling it It's a Dream. Cats die. Cats die in real life. You think that happens? We'll see. I hope that doesn't happen. I'm confused. But anyways, back to character. Joe chucks the treat to me from where he is leaning against the shelf opposite me. I pull out a handful and stand up. Come on, I don't want to wait around. Me and Joe walk out of the pantry. Surprisingly, the cats are nowhere to be seen. Taylor, be careful. Joe squeezes my hand and pulls me back towards him. Merliv, I call as we venture further into the house. Meow, meow, Joe calls, following behind me cautiously. I hear a crash behind me and turn around. Meredith! I scream, seeing she has just knocked my mother's vase off the shelf. Here, pretty girl, have some of this. Joe calls, carefully walking towards her, holding a treat at arm's length. Meredith willingly eats it in a matter of seconds. The wings on her back have disappeared completely. Wow, we need to give some to Benj and Liv. Joe suggests, pulling me back to the kitchen, where Benjamin has not moved from the shelf. I reach up and lift him down, cradling him like a baby in my arms as Joe force feeds him the treat. I place him on the floor, and his wings are gone. Now the real challenge. Olivia. That's it. Okay. I'm confused. But guess that's what we're going for. Wait, wings are gone. I'm recalling it. Cats don't die. Yes, cats do not die. No dead cats. We do not want that. That is way too sad. We want all the cats to stay alive because they're cute, and especially Taylor Swift's cats. Taylor Swift has really cute cats. Like, they're so cute. They're like my dream cats. They're like white and fluffy. Well, the one's a little gray, but they're so cute. She has the best cats ever. But I really feel like we got to see inside Taylor Swift and Joe Alwyn's relationship. So that was crazy. Whew. Wattpad, always an experience, if you know what I mean. Anyways, thank you so much for watching and having a great Tiff Tuesday with me. I feel like we made it really fun, and it was really fun, so I appreciate it. So thank you for joining. Anyways, I must go now, but I also want to say thank you so much for 175,000 streams on my type. We did it! So thank you so much for the support on the song. It means the world to me, and I'm so happy you like it. And remember, lots of music coming soon. And tomorrow is Ash Wednesday, which is my favorite day of the year. So it's going to be really fun and a really fun live stream. So you won't want to miss it. Where do you even find that thing? It's hilarious. Wattpad. Let me tell you something. If you want to laugh, go to Wattpad and read it. It's like, I think maybe sometimes, like when I'm sad and depressed, I'm just going to read fan fiction on Wattpad because it always seems to cheer me up somehow. I added it to my playlist. Thank you, RJ. You're the best. You're amazing. Love you. You're amazing. Anyways, bye. Hope you have a great rest of your Tiff Tuesday. Have a great day. Have a glitterful day. Love you. Those sound effects are my new